Now that you've chosen your data segments and you've gone into the DSP and you've pulled the availability of those data segments, you can now take a look at some past examples that we've had in how the pricing works out. So for a particular campaign for Nature Valley Crunchy, we wanted to reach ages 18 to 34 with kids, as well as compare performance of people ages 18 to 34 with no kids. So we take the raw cost of media, which we've seen historically on the open exchange for General Mills has been anywhere between 50 cents and $1.25. The demo ranges anywhere from 30 cents to 75 cents, and then layering on the additional qualifier of kids or no kids is 60 cents to $1. So we expect to be able to purchase everything, the data and the media, from anywhere from $1.40 to $3. So that's the estimated CPM that we expect to net out at the end of the campaign. So we'll put that on the proposal. We'll conservatively put the higher end, the $3, so that gives us room to bid higher if there is a lot of market competitiveness. But once we're in market, that's when we're really going to see the true market dictated cost of the segment. For that specific Nature Valley campaign, we were coming in at $1.77 for ages 18 to 34 with kids and $1.54 for ages 18 to 34 with no kids. So the thing here to remember is that it definitely is a range of prices that we could be paying. We could end up paying less than what we anticipate because there is no competitiveness in the market. No other advertisers are bidding for those segments. But more often than not, there is a lot of competition, and we will have to bid on the higher range. Luckily for this very specific campaign, we were on the lower range, but I would say that that doesn't always happen. So we do have to keep in mind that it is a dynamic CPM based on the market value. So we do want to put a little bit higher of a CPM so the client knows how high we could potentially have to spend to reach that target. A lot of clients sometimes want to add on additional layers of targeting. They might want to say they want pizza lovers or a specific psychographic target, but want to further qualify them with a demo, say an age range. When we do that, we have to keep in mind that only about half of the online universe is actually segmented into a demographic segment. So there's only about half of the internet universe segmented into age and only about half or 50% into gender. So if you're going to layer on age plus gender, you're taking away almost 3/4 of the online universe. So it really has to be very, very important for the client to add those qualifiers in. If not, and you do want to add them in, or it is a must-have for the client, you can see here what happens to the scalability for a particular segment. So for moms, we had over 43 million potential cookies over 30 days for just moms, but once we added in ages 24 to 44, we brought that down almost by a quarter to 30,000. For pizza lovers, it was a huge, drastic decrease. We had almost 65 million without adding on age, but only less than 12 million when we added the age range qualifier on top. As well as for purchase-based targeting, we had almost 56 million people who wanted to buy something that had to do with pizza, but it dropped drastically when we added in ages 24 to 44. I would argue that if you want somebody who is very interested in your product and you know has purchased it in the past, do you really care if that person is age 18 or age 50 if they are actually going to purchase your product? So it definitely makes sense to be strategic when you are layering on demo on top of your already qualified audiences. When you're building the audiences, you have to remember that you typically can't have just one data segment that's going to comprise the entire audience because there might not be enough scale. So what we do is we add in a lot of different data segments to make sure that we have enough scalability and we're able to purchase that type of data at an efficient rate for the client to see performance. In these examples, we have many different qualifiers for moms 25 to 44, as well as pizza lovers. What we do is we send this back to the strategy team and sometimes even the client so they can vet through all of the different audiences that are making up one audience and can take some out or add some in as they feel necessary. But please do remember that if you are going to group all of them together like this, you will not see performance per each of these separate line items. You're going to see performance on aggregate. So just as a quick recap from everything that we've covered with planning with data providers, you do want to balance content and addressable media or use data segments for a holistic media plan based on client objectives. You do want to plan ahead as there are a lot of different data provider and segment combinations that you could go to market with. So you want to be able to make sure that you have them set up correctly in the beginning. You want to test multiple data providers to find the best fit for your client. You'll never know if one works better for them if you don't try it. And you also want to leave enough lead time for any custom segments, minimum 2 weeks, to make sure that they're created correctly and ported over into the DSP for targeting. And it bears repeating again, do set up your data segments up front so that you're able to get out the learnings that your client might want or be able to get enough learnings while you're in market to make smart optimizations. Thank you for joining me for learning how to plan a programmatic campaign with data providers.